In this episode of Fictional Hangover, we talk about not looking at the Ark of the Covenant, ghost bothering, TM, delicious creepy smiles, giving ourselves a small amount of credit for getting things wrong, and dating Bobby from Supernatural in our discussion of Darkness and Demon Song by M.R. Fournet. Hey everybody, welcome to Fictional Hangover, a podcast about young adult and new adult. And this time, middle grade books, series authors, voice actors, and illustrators that is full of spoilers. I'm Amanda, and it's far too early in the morning for me.
And I'm Claire, and it's early afternoon for me. And today we're going to discuss Darkness and Demon Song by M.R. Fournet, and I'm ridiculously excited to do so. So let's have a standard disclaimer.
Oh my god.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
If you haven't read this book, please remember that Fictional Hangover is all about spoilers. If you haven't read and don't want to be spoiled, stop listening to us and go read the book. Then come back. If you haven't done this but want to pretend that you have, or if you don't care about spoilers, or if you just like the show so much that you don't care about any of that, then listen up.
Yay!
Yay! Yay! Yay!
Background info. This is the sequel to Brick, Dust and Bones, which we did the other week.
Yes, it
and
is.
It was really, really good.
Yes. Yes.
Do you have any actual background information?
Yes, we do. I read an interview with Monster Complex, and they asked M.R. Fournet, what are the challenges of writing monster books for middle grade readers? And her response is, there's always the push and pull of two questions. Is this too scary? Is this not scary enough? She goes on to say, growing up, I read R.L. Stein's Fear Street at age 10 and Stephen King at age 12. I gobbled up horror, so I wasn't sure I could really go off of my childhood barometer. After talking with middle school kids, I realized they come up with way crazier monsters than I do, so I focus on making them scary enough, minus any foul language or super gore, and then I go, but why? That's what I'm here for.
I 100% agree with that, because I remember in Brick, Dust and Bones saying I wasn't sure if I could recommend this.
Yes, you
to my
said that.
10-year-old.
You said that in the episode because I went back and listened to some of it.
Yeah, and he's read the book. He's read Brick, Dust and Bones 6 times now.
It's amazing.
And yeah, when I had Darkness and Demon Song on my hand, he looked over to me and went, "Mammy." I went, "No, this is for me to read." And he did the big puppy dog eyes and everything. And I'm like, no, stop guilt tripping me. So, yeah, he has read it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't take you that long to read a book. So then you can be kind and pass it along.
I literally left it for him to wake up to in the morning. I finished it at 1 o'clock in the morning, toddled into his room, put it onto his pile so he could wake up to it.
Very nice.
And he took it to his grandparents and read the whole thing the next day.
That's amazing.
So, yeah. Damn, I love these books.
They're so good. Especially this one. Oh, I finished this one before you did. And, oh, Claire, I just wanted to be like, oh, that's pretty stupid. Oh. And it wasn't even words that came out.
I was reading this one before I got the physical copy on the ebook. And we were doing one of the buddy reads, dial-in reads that we do with some of the book clubbers. Mm-hmm. And I got to the end of chapter 4. And bear in mind, camera is on, but the microphone is off. And I must have mouthed something 4-letter wordish, and my face just did the expression. And then when we came back, they went, "Did something good happen?" I was like, yeah.
Lots of good things happened. Do you have initial thoughts?
I think that's all my initial thought. You pick out something from what I've just said.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yes, all of those things that I said, and the words that I didn't say that aren't words, but also I was really curious how wrong we were going to be, because if everyone will go back a few episodes and listen to the Brick, Dust, and Bones episode, we had a bit of a chat of what we think would happen in book 2, and that was part of it was our clip for that week, and MR Fournet saw it on social media, which is why, spoiler alert, she is joining us in a bonus episode this week. But she thought it was hilarious and that we were very, very wrong. And we were pretty wrong about some things. But some things we were correct about. So I went back,
thank you,
and I listened to that bit of our episode and I took notes. I said, I hope something horribly horrible goes wrong with his mother being returned. Correct. I also said, actually, she's a terrifying demon pretending to be your mom and horrible things are going to happen. Mostly correct.
Yes.
And then we said, Papa Harold is going to be like, nah, man, you're messing with something here. And then send Marius after his own mother, which was wrong, very wrong.
So wrong.
Really?
So very wrong.
Really horribly.
Really wrong.
Badly
Couldn't be
wrong.
more wrong.
Yeah.
Like the opposite side of the galaxy wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we said whatever type of creature she is in the book, which I gave a kind of, because the demons, spoiler alert for, like 20 minutes, the demon's name was in there after capture happened.
Yeah.
And then we also said, Mom is gone for good, and the Crossroads demon is using this as a way to get demons out of hell. Also wrong. Not even.
So
that's
wrong.
Not even a thing.
That's not a thing.
No.
That's on a different plane of existence wrong.
Yeah. Like, at least with the Papa Harold stuff, we were wrong, like hilariously wrong. But this one just didn't even.
That wasn't even a factor.
No, not even a thing.
No.
Not even a thing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Every word of that sentence is wrong.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Because
we're allowed to be wrong.
We
which
are.
I think is interesting. Because it means that it makes the story that we're about to cover even better.
Yes. And it also tempts the author into joining us. Worth it.
Correct us.
All right, so should we dig in?
Hell yeah.
Marius Gray is finding out firsthand that chupacabras are tough to trap in his monster book. After traveling by grave to a cemetery in Texas to hunt the creature, Marius and his back from the dead mom, please see book 1, Kelly Stone, are lying in wait behind some gravestones while the chupacabra herds its tasty treat of goats between the stones. One is trailing its leash, stopping its escape. Suddenly, Kelly jumps out, throwing brick dust in the creature's eyes, blinding it so she can make a salt circle. Marius moves from his hiding spot, frees the leashed goat, and tries to trap the chupacabra in his monster book. But it doesn't work. Marius dives for the salt circle with his mom, and the very miffed chupacabra starts beating at the circle. Marius tries to hurt the chupacabra with his raven skull necklace, but it only gives it a mild burn. In a last-ditch attempt at something, Marius grabs the fallen goat leash, lashes the chupacabra, then dives into the open grave he and his mother traveled through, pulling the creature with him. What a first chapter! Jeez! Intense.
Yeah. Marius lands back in his home cemetery, the remnants of the leash in his hand. The chupacabra still came through, and it's not happy chappy. Not at all. Marius books it to the docks, screaming for his bestie Rhiannon, a flesh-eating mermaid.
Oh, we love her.
Marius dives in the bayou, sinking into the water with the weight of his many-pocketed coat, but the chupacabra doesn't follow. Rhiannon used a barb that extends from her wrist to pin the chupacabra by the back foot to the dog. Marius grabs his book but hesitates to trap it, worried that his book will trap Rhea too, because she is also a monster.
Oh.
Thankfully, as Rhea also realises this, Kelly appears and snaps Rhea's barb, leaving the chupacabra still pinned, but freeing our favourite mermaid and giving Marius the chance to trap the monster in his book.
As Marius, Rhea, and Kelly are discussing whether Rhea would have been sucked into the monster book by accident, Madame Millet arrives. Madame Millet wants Kelly to go out into the world again because she's been back from hell for a couple of months now. But Kelly is reluctant. I mean, same.
I'm not back from hell and I don't want to go out in the world.
She's also protective of Marius, who would be hounded and questioned, though Madame Millet promises that while Marius is in her care, he would be safe from reporters. Her words, her care, reverberate. As Madame Millet makes to go home, leaving some of Mama Rue's redfish court bouillon, she asks Kelly to think about her proposal, or at least consider helping at the school. Once the fringe priestess / schoolteacher is gone, Kelly turns to Marius. It's time to cash in the chupacabra.
They head to the haberdashery. It's unusually busy, meaning there are 2 other customers there, and they're curious about Marius as they're wrinkly and worn-looking. Madame Boudreau intercepts Marius and Kelly before they can head to the back room to see Papa Harold. She's surprised to see Kelly, invites her for tea. While his mom and Madame Boudreau are busy, Marius heads to Papa Harold.
I have to admit at this point that I thought something fishy was happening.
Oh, I was fully expecting something in the tea.
I was wrong. We were wrong about that. The tea was fine.
Nothing weird in the tea.
Nothing weird.
Maybe she just wanted to spill the tea over tea.
I don't know, but I swear And then when I kept reading, I was like, what did she put in that tea? Nothing.
There's got to be something in the tea.
Nothing.
Why wasn't there something in the tea?
Nothing.
In the tea.
Didn't happen.
You're a clever one, Emma.
So good. Oh. Okay. Papa Harold is a little grumpy that Marius went to someone else to cash in the Rougarou from book 1. But because he's made a good commission on Marius over the years, it's forgiven. Marius cashes in the chupacabra for 200 mystic coins, but Papa Harold is curious where Marius found out about it. He's reluctant to tell the truth about the anonymous mail he received the night he brought his mother back from hell, so he evades Papa Harold, saying he followed a rumor to find the chupacabra in Texas.
Papa Harold tries to get Marius to take a job for the Honey Island swamp monster, which Marius laughs about because it's clearly a mythical creature.
All of them are.
What? Dude.
What are you catching, man?
I think at this point I held the book and just looked around and went,
What's everything else, Marius?
Instead, Marius takes a low-level bogeyman and leaves. Before he exits the haberdashery, Kelly comes out having had tea with Madame Boudreau.
Not poisoned.
And absolutely nothing
tea.
Has happened to her.
Regular
It was just
tea.
a nice cup of tea. It may have been Twinings. It could have been PG Tips. It could have been Southern tea. Who knows? It was a nice cup of tea. She's shocked to see Marius dealing with Papa Harold. Her brother!
What? What?
What? Papa Harold's voice changes and becomes sinister as he greets his sister and then starts to hum a strange tune. What the heck? Like, seriously, what the heck?
Oh, so good. Kelly takes Marius to get ice cream.
Hey.
Excuse me, that is not the answer to the question. Well, no, I take it back. Ice cream is always the answer.
Ice cream is always the answer.
Yeah. She explains that Papa Harold is not her actual brother, but they were hunters at the same time.
Ah, it's a brotherhood.
Papa Harold got greedy and started stealing from the people he was helping. And one day, he got too greedy and tried to steal from a witch who set her Hellcat on him. The witch trapped the Hellcat demon inside Papa Harold and bound his monster book in wax and a demon seal. Because Papa Harold is now half demon, he can no longer hunt and trap monsters. Marius says he's his friend. He gave him the jobs that helped pay for Kelly's return. But would a friend really send a 12-year-old to hunt a Rougarou? Marius doesn't mention the Honey Island monster, but confesses he got a boogeyman from Papa Harold. Suddenly, Kelly says she doesn't feel well. Her color is muted, and she's freezing. They return to the cemetery.
Surprising everyone, the next day, Marius is not only on time for school, he's early.
What?
Yeah.
That never happens.
No, never. It was a pretty good day on the whole. Marius got a B+ on a math test. Well done, Marius. He talked about the semester field trip and managed to dissuade Mal and Millette from going to the Cabadillo, which is where the ghost of Napoleon Bonaparte is, and he's so tiring and repetitive, which I find
it's hilarious.
And Lena Trudeau talked to him. Lena is interesting. She was playing with a rosary when the math tests were being given back, and green sparks seemed to flicker as she spun the pearls until it broke. Marius gave her a rosewood rosary from his many-pocketed coat to play with in its place.
You always got to have spare rosaries.
I'm just wondering if the Catholic Church gives out rosaries as fidget toys now.
They should. I mean, right here, it's proven that they can be used in such a manner. After school, Marius and his mom go to Papa Renard's to get a copy of Magical Diagnosis and Treatment because Kelly still isn't feeling well, and their copy was destroyed in her resurrection. Kelly is unable to go inside the store, though, because something is stopping her, and she looks pointedly at a skull with 3 X's, which is standard in the fringe world to mark a safe space. Before Marius can pay for the book, Antoine, his classmate and Papa Renard's son, stops him and at first tries to get him to come with him to talk to some girls, but when Marius says no, he gets Marius to sign a postcard of a Rougarou instead. As Marius is walking out, he sees Antoine surrounded by the girls, showing off his autograph. Marius is a reluctant celebrity.
Yes. When Marius comes out of the shop, Lena is standing with his mom. She wants to buy a new rosary, but is far too busy inside for her. You know what? Understandable. Totally relatable. Yep. Kelly and Marius start to walk her home to the Hotel Montelion across the quarter, but are sidetracked by a haunting gone crazy at the old coffee pot. Outside is the van of the Ghost Badgers, a TV ghost hunting group. I'm so excited by this.
I wanted to just text you, Claire, you're in this book. Claire, you're in this.
Oh, I'd like to think I'm not as idiotic as the Ghost Badgers.
No,
though.
But Ghost Badgers, like that's almost what you say. You say bothering, yes. But still, badgering, close enough.
It is. I bother ghosts when I go ghost hunting. I know the truth. I'm a ghost botherer. Oh, I did text it to my ghost bothering friends, and they were very entertained and very excited by this. Anywho, the Ghost Badgers are bothering these poor ghosts. And it's the resident ghosts, which are a mad dentist and one of his victims. Normally they're fine, but at the moment they've gone absolutely crazy. Kelly anoints everyone's head with holy oil and orders them to wear their rosary. Inside the kitchen, the Ghost Badgers are being attacked by the ghosts. I am not sympathetic to them because they're being mean. No. Kelly tries to help one of them, but suddenly feels sick, fleeing and vomiting in the corner. Marius steps up in his mom's absence, asking the manager for the ghost's minder. The manager says it's Maudie the Void, a black cat, but her totem in the front hallway has been broken. Yeah, that explains so much.
Yep, that's why the ghosts are flipping out. Before they fix the totem, Marius checks on his mom, who is outside, bent over, crying. The next second, though, she's right in front of him with a ghoulish smile he's never seen before on her face. And Amanda goes, "Ah!
We love it."
But then the smile drops and Kelly walks back inside the old coffee pot. When Marius looks at the spot where his mom was standing in the street, he sees a cloaked figure, almost a whisper of a person standing there. It vanishes before he can check that Lena saw it too. They return to the kitchen, broken totem in hand, but Lena takes it and fuses the two pieces together in her closed hand, perfectly putting it back together. Lena's eyes plead for Marius to say nothing. Maudie the Void appears and calms the situation with the chaotic ghosts with a glance only a cat can give. Unfortunately for the ghost badgers, their camera suffered from an accident. Ooh, whoops. If accident is defined by Kelly throwing it in the sink of dishwater.
Yeah, it's totally an accident.
Yeah.
100%.
She tells them this isn't their world and they need to leave and stop bothering ghosts. And warning received, they skedaddle. Stop it. Stop it, Claire.
No.
Stop it, Claire.
No, you gotta go bother the ghosts and say hello. It's only the misogynistic ones I really have a go at. You're gonna burn women as witches? Well, I'm gonna have your life. Or your own life.
It's amazing.
Back home, Marius and Rhea are trying to find out what is wrong with Kelly with help from Magical Diagnosis and Treatment book. But yeah, nothing's going right. The measles check makes her sneeze bugs. The allergy check makes her break into hives. And the stomach check makes her choke out a frog. But you know, at least Rhea gets a nice snack from that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Stomach frog.
Silver lining. Giving up for the night, they head to Mama Rue's with the ghosts. As soon as they enter, a tall blonde with huge green eyes and a massive smile greets Kelly as if they're besties. This is the appropriately named Barbie, and she's a crossroads demon. Since Mama Rue has just cussed her out, Kelly doesn't speak to her, and Marius threatens her with his monster bug. She gets the idea that she is unwanted and leaves after dropping her business card. Kelly can't remember if Barbie was her crossroads demon, but she can't remember a lot of things, so...
Dinner wasn't the success Marius had hoped it would be, so he suggests he and his mom go monster hunting because he has a lead on some boogeymen. Kelly agrees, and it seems to energize her somewhat. Back at the cemetery, as Kelly's getting ready, Marius delivers fried shrimp to Rhea and tells her about Barbie, and they both think Barbie was Kelly's crossroads demon. Rhea isn't sure monster hunting is a good idea right now and suggests Marius tell Kelly jokes instead. Like, what do you get when you cross a shellfish with a bunny? An oyster bunny! It's like an Easter bunny. Easter bunny. It's a horrible dad joke. It is, considering that today is Easter Sunday, day of recording. You know, the joke was horrible, but Rhea tried, and we all love her for it.
Exactly.
My favorite part is that she doesn't get it. She doesn't get the joke.
No.
And that's the best part of it.
I like the fact that she gets some from Bawdy fishermen she steals fish from.
Yes, also that.
Marius and Kelly arrive at the boogeyman address that turns out to be a camp for troubled kids. They head to the boys' dorms because Marius rightly points out that boys don't ask for help. Using himself as bait, Marius hands his monster book and many-pocketed coat to his mom and sits in the centre of the room. It doesn't take too long for the boogeyman to come for the monster hunt as a tasty treat. The boys, who were asleep in their beds, panic at the sight of the monster, and one of the older ones tries to keep it distracted, allowing the others to escape. As the boogeyman sucks the soul from the older kid, Marius charges, breaking the connection and freeing the boy, while at the same time shouting for his mom to use his book. Kelly, however, is standing like a statue. She snaps out of her trance and starts the spell to suck the boogeyman into the book, but stops. The huge, creepy smile spreads across her face again, and the boogeyman gets freaked out and runs for it. What?
What?
What's going on?
On the way back home, Marius and Kelly ponder the boogeyman's weird reaction. They never run scared from a hunter. Kelly hasn't felt right since coming back from hell. And see, here I am still thinking, or since she had that tea, man. No, wrong. She's felt fragile and has few memories. Before leaving the cemetery where they'll grave hop back home as Kelly is comforting a ghost, Marius spots a sign to Honey Island Swamp. Back at home, Kelly goes to bed and Marius sleeps on his boat in the bayou with Rhea singing him to sleep. The next morning, Marius skips school, and together the best friends steal the lunch and catch from a couple of gruff fishermen. That's the ones that Rhea learned her dad joke from.
They're funny. Sorry. Their fun only lasts until the afternoon when they return to the cemetery dock where a big 2-engine tour boat is moored. Yay. Madame Millette and the rest of the Marius' class are there with his mom. It seems today is field trip day and they're taking a tour of the bayou. Rhea hides and Marius climbs aboard, sitting next to Lena, followed by his mom who is going along as chaperone. The tour goes well until the guide wants to lure out some of his gator friends. Despite using chicken wings as bait, the gators aren't going to come out with an apex predator, Rhea the mermaid, snooping under the tour boat. They are shit scared of Rhea. They know to keep away from her.
Well, she eats them, so...
Exactly. They have learned fear. Marius can hear the clicking of Rhea's claws on the hull. With that ghoulish smile on her face, though, Kelly tells the class there is a mermaid in the bayou, and everyone laughs at her imagination. But when she points out at the water, then leans over with supernatural speed to grab and pull Rhea, the class believes her. She's holding on to a freaking mermaid.
This was the worst.
I hated this bit so much.
I hated it. So
this is when I'm like, that is not Kelly. Mm-mm. That is not Kelly at all. Mm-mm. What is that?
To escape, Marius gestures for Rhea to sing, which she does. Everyone goes into a daze and forgets that Rhea was there. Well, almost everyone. Lena is staring at the back of Mildred's head, one hand resting on Marius's many-pocketed coat he placed on the bench between them. Back at the cemetery, Marius begs his mom to go back to how she was, and they both have a frustrated cry. That night, they both sleep in the boat after telling stories. To Rhea's disappointment, the next day, Marius does not play hooky and goes to school. It's a human thing. He's got to do it sometime.
Occasion. Apparently went to school and didn't find out about a school trip at all. Marius arrives early and runs straight into Mildred, who is her usual brattish, bullish self. We hate Mildred.
We do. She's the worst.
Marius is choosing to ignore her, remembering they once had a truce and she helped him get the much-needed virgin water to bring his mom back. As Mildred is saying something ridiculous and mean, she starts to choke. Oh no.
Shucks.
Oh, quick, help her.
Someone.
Pat her back or...
Call 911.
Something. Oh, look at the time. With a few hard pats to her back, because Marius is a nice person, Marius helps her cough up a wad of cork and straw. What has she been eating?
I don't know.
Behind them, Lena watches and puts Mildred in her place with unusual confidence. Marius realises Lena, she's a witch.
It's amazing.
She's a gosh darn full-on witch.
It's amazing.
Actual witch.
Later, as Marius is tidying the cemetery and talking to himself about his discovery that Lena is a witch, which he always was, warned to steer clear of, Hugo floats over looking worried. Kelly has been wailing for hours in their mausoleum home, and it's disturbing the ghosts. Marius heads over, throws the door open, and sees his mom sitting next to the mist-like creature from outside the old coffee pot, and he's grasping her wrist. Marius pulls out his monster book, but before he can finish the trapping spell, the creature runs. Kelly has no recollection of what just happened.
While there are a few people Marius can turn to for help about his mom, he decides Lena is the best option. The hotel at Monteleone is fancy, very fancy, and thankfully he runs into Lena in the foyer. They take a walk to Jackson Square, which is empty. Marius explains what he saw and Lena calls them wraiths. She explains that she was adopted and needs to keep her witch identity quiet, and Marius promises to do so. She shows him how her magic works by drawing energy to create something. She draws the energy from flowers in the square and makes a dog rabbit, which snuffles off. I wonder how else this could be useful, and could Claire be very, very wrong about this? Not being able to help anymore, Lena gives Marius a postcard with an address to a cemetery in Texas on it and an apology. Lena considers them friends, but was asked by Creature to keep an eye on him. That's mysterious and creepy and quite frankly annoying. The next day, Marius and Kelly head by grave to Abilene, Texas. Y'all.
They emerge into a dry, dusty cemetery in Texas in the middle of nowhere. After a few minutes, the roar of a 1966 Ford Thunderbird convertible can be heard. A woman with interesting scars hops out with a shit-eating grin. Should we say shit-eating grin in a middle grade book?
I mean, it's not wrong.
It's true. This is Colleen Marigold Creature. Call me Creature. Retired monster hunter. Kelly recognizes her, and they both thought the other was dead. Only one wasn't, and the other got better. Retirement doesn't suit Creature, so she meddles. It turns out that she was the one who sent the Chupacabra information to Marius, and she wrangled Lena into watching him, and now she wants to mentor Marius. Marius is conflicted. He wants to hear all Creature's stories, but he wants to respect his mom and find help with the wraiths. Creature tells him to get into the 1966 Ford Thunderbird convertible because they're going to the movies. Reasonable.
The movie theater.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
We're going to the movies. Get in. Get in, everyone.
You want answers? You know what? Cinema.
Yeah.
Hollywood has all the answers, apparently. The movie theatre feels off. There's no one around except a clerk in the ticket booth, and he does not look well. When Marius asks for a ticket, the clerk is shocked and tells him to get away before they come. Yeah, too late.
No.
No, dog. Turn around. Two black-eyed children are on the street asking to be let in. Black-eyed children and the myth behind them is absolutely freaking crazy and scary.
Love it.
Like, ew.
Love it.
Ew. I mean, kids are creepy enough as it is, but giving them black eyes and let us in. We need to be let in.
I love it. I love it so much.
Horrible. Disgusting. Marius pulls out his monster book, but the children rush at him and throw the book aside. As they're crowding him, Marius can smell sulphur and realises they're demons. Yep. Kelly approaches, but she's got that ghoulish grin on her face, and she begins to hum the same song as Papa Harold. This entrances the black-eyed children, and Marius is able to get his holy water from his pocket and liberally pours it over the girl black-eyed child, melting her face and revealing a demon skull. This is very Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, she looked at the Ark of the Covenant for sure.
Never look at the Ark of the Covenant. It's bad time. Marius then does this to the boy, black-eyed child, before opening his monster book and using the trapping spell. The oppressive vibe of the theatre is gone, and the theatre clerk is so grateful he gives Marius a lifetime membership, which he passes to Creature.
That's a really cool payment.
That's worth a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I would enjoy that. So you have to hop to the middle of...
cinema.
Yeah, but it's fine. Do it.
Yeah, do it. It's
Worth
cheaper
it.
to hop by your grave than,
Yeah.
get a buzz.
So what? You have to go to the middle of Texas to go to the movies. It's free.
It's free.
While Kelly, who doesn't remember anything, sleeps in the back seat of the 1966 Ford Thunderbird convertible, Marius and Creature talk. First, Marius asks about the raven necklace, which seems to be losing power. Creature tells him there is something wrong with the charm attached to it. I really love what's wrong with it, by the way. Just, I don't know why.
Oh,
it's just one of my favorite parts. It's very cool. Then Creature gives Marius some homemade taffy and tells him that when he chews it, they'll be able to talk telepathically, which is amazing. They test it out, and Creature tells Marius his mom is possessed by a demon and it's tearing her apart.
Oh, damn.
Imagine getting that message while you're chewing taffy.
Great flavoured taffy and
a demon.
Horrible realisations about your mom's demon.
Yeah, it's
great. That would put you off the flavour, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Back at the cemetery. Their cemetery. Kelly heads straight to their family mausoleum while Marius stays outside. After about an hour, he heads back in, oil on his forehead, rosary around his neck, holy water, salt, brick dust, and an exorcism incantation at the ready. There are 6 wraiths floating around the room and one holding onto Kelly's head. As Marius approaches, possessed Kelly stands up, the demon's ghoulish grin plastered on her face. The demon tells Marius it will rip Kelly apart if he tries anything. Marius flees.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Marius goes to the haberdashery to speak to Papa Harold. First, he cashes in on the black-eyed children, 150 mystic coins, not revealing where his intel came from. But then he says he wants to speak to the demon, Belor, inside Papa Harold. A strange 3-person conversation happens. Only 2 voices are coming out of one body. Papa Harold is willing to help Marius get the demon out of his mom for a price.
Shocker.
The Honey Island swamp monster. And Marius agrees. The Hellcat inside Papa Harold is not happy with the agreement. That night, Marius sleeps on his boat without Rhea.
Oh. The next day, Sunday, Marius finds a note from his mom. She's helping Madame Let for the day. Phew. Rhea is also back. She was angry with Marius, but then saw the confrontation with possessed Kelly and wants to help. Marius explains what has been happening, and Rhea wants to help catch the Honey Island swamp monster and is willing to travel by grave to get to the swamp. They've got about a 20-minute window where Rhea can be out of the water. Marius, he has an idea though, and they plan to meet in a couple of hours.
Okay, look, we're not being mean here at all. Not casting any shade on Rhea. But she is too big and heavy for Marius to carry from the bayou to the ancient forgotten grave hidden away behind the mausoleum. Plan B is to use a shrinking spell that, in theory, will work. Rhea chews chicory flowers while Marius casts the spell. And you know what? It does work. Rhea shrinks so far that she fits inside a mason jar, and it's precious. Unfortunately, it does not last for long. and she starts getting bigger moments after traveling by grave to the cemetery with the sign pointing to Honey Island Swamp. Marius only just gets her to the swamp in time. Rhea will not be traveling by Mason Jar again. Adamant about that. And she'll take the long way home through the swamps. Not doing it. Not doing it again.
Well, I mean, she does smash it, so unless you've got another mason... Well, he probably does have another mason jar in that coat.
He's got a million mason jars all over the place.
I want that coat.
Yeah.
Heading to a dock, the friends pick out an older boat that had the keys in it, Rhea pulling it until they're out of sight before Marius starts the motor. When they're close to Honey Island, Marius goes silent again. It's not long before they smell something really bad and see a huge mammalian in the trees carrying a bundle wrapped in blue cloth. It's the Honey Island monster, also known as the skunk ape for obvious reasons. They watch the monster move quickly and quietly, at one point stopping and sitting with their fifilets. Rhea points out if the monster was truly monstrous, the fifilets wouldn't rest on it. Soon the monster moves, the blue package still in hand. It goes to a tree and opens the package containing a pile of dead mice.
The dead mice are swarmed by baby owls and their parents. Aww. They look like barn owls, but slightly different. Marius realizes these are golden barred owls, the true source of the golden goose myth. And the monster is protecting them. Aww. Marius realizes that, like Rhea, not all monsters are bad, and that Papa Harold sent Marius to trap the Honey Island swamp monster so he could steal the owls and their eggs. He can't let him do that. Marius takes the biggest jar of brick dust from his many-pocketed coat and slowly approaches the monster and owls. Marius explains that he needs to leave this place with the owls as they aren't safe and to sprinkle the brick dust on the owl's tree to hide them from hunters. The monster understands and gives Marius some already hatched golden eggshells as a thank you.
Marius returns by grave to his home, while Rhea will take about half a day to travel back. After a shower, he heads inside the family mausoleum and finds his mum crying and surrounded by the wraiths. So he threatens the wraiths with his book to make them disperse. Marius spends the night sleeping next to his mum, and she holds on to him the entire night. It's not Kelly's hand, though, holding him in the morning. It's wraiths. I would freak out. Absolutely, 100% freak out. Because this is not a pleasant way to wake up. And frankly, it's the last straw for Marius. He gets ready and goes to school, ready to speak to Madame Millet.
Marius tells Madame Millet everything except Lena and Creature's parts. Madame Millet is concerned Marius would wait so long before coming to her for help, but he thought she would take his mom away and he only just got her back. Madame Millet's office gets a bit busy with Lena coming in to defend Marius and admitting he told her about the wraiths, and then terrible Mildred comes in to tell her mom that Lena is a literal witch. Yeah, everyone in the room already knows that, so go away, Mildred. Geez, you're not welcome here. Oh my gosh. Your bullying will be addressed later, and I really, really hope it was.
Oh, me too.
Before any further discussion can take place, Madame Millet receives a phone call from Mama Rue. She needs to get her butt to the restaurant and bring Marius. Lena tags along too.
Mama Rue's, they find pandemonium, and in the middle, Rex the Crossroads demon is dancing with possessed Kelly. Both are humming that horrible tune that Papa Harold was singing. Secretly, Marius is able to hand Madame Millet his bottle of holy water, and while she throws it on Kelly, Marius blinds his mom with brick dust. Madame Millet casts a spell which knocks Kelly out. They all turn to Rex, who condescendingly says, "You got what you pay for, baby hunter." What a jerk.
Nah, Doug. Madame Millet isn't taking that. She demands Rex explain what is going on, but Rex isn't scared of her. He is of Mamaru, though, who amazing. And she immediately tells him that she's going to kick him out of the establishment and invite Barbie back if he doesn't spill the beans. This works. Rex tells them that part of Kelly's soul is still in hell within her hell house, and a possession demon latched on to the hole in her soul when she was brought back to life. You can exorcise the demon, but the hole is still there, ready to be filled by another demon, and the only way to plug the hole is to get the missing piece back from hell. Someone needs to go to the underworld and retrieve it. Marius does not want to die, but Rex says that isn't necessary. He just needs to find an entrance, which exists in the hottest places in the world, one of which is in Texas.
Of course.
Of course.
With some effort, and the help of two of Mama Ru's cooks and Madame Let's car, they get Kelly back to the mausoleum and tie her to the bed with holy water-soaked ropes. There are a couple of times when Kelly wakes up, but with liberal application of oil and Lena's witchy power to put her back to sleep, she literally just says, "Down!" And it's like, ooh, she's
amazing.
Scary. Madame Malette isn't happy about Marius going into literal hell by himself, but no one else can realistically go because she and Lena will need to stay to keep Kelly asleep. Marius uses a piece of Creature's taffy to contact her and see if she knows the underworld's location. She does! It's the Devil's Sinkhole in Rock Springs. Of course it is. And you know what? She's actually really pretty close to it. Hugo waves to Marius from the window, telling him Rhea is back.
Marius updates Rhea on what has happened and where he needs to go. Without hesitation, Rhea insists on going with him, but he can't bring her even though she begs, even offering to be shrunk down and shoved into a jar again, which she swore she would never do. She's such a good friend.
Amazing. We love her.
He wants Rhea to stay behind and use their connection from the Rougarou fight to make sure he's okay. 1 squeeze for yes, 2 for no. If nothing comes back, though, he's dead.
Hackberry Cemetery in Texas is unusual compared to Marius's home cemetery. It's so spaced out. But thankfully, Creature is waiting for him in her 1966 Ford Thunderbird convertible. They drive to the Devil's Sinkhole, which turns out to be a tourist trap, though it's thankfully empty. Sneaking in, Creature gives Marius instructions. Take the right-hand passage after the water, then hands him a flashlight. After the gruelling gauntlet of being lowered into the sinkhole, dropped partway and being investigated by bats, Marius reaches the bottom. The path gets progressively claustrophobic, and Marius has to squeeze and haul and bend himself through the space. Once out the other side, Marius encounters water and leaves his flashlight switched on and pointing into the depths. Marius steps in and toward the right passage, but he needs to go under the water. With a deep breath, Marius plunges into the dark.
Oh,
I hated this entire bit. It was horribly creepy and freaky and brilliant.
The water is cold and disorienting. Everything in Marius's body wants to scream, and when the panic kicks in and he loses some of his air, cracks his skull against the rock, all rational thought leaves him. Thankfully, he finds a tiny air pocket big enough for his mouth and nose. As he gulps in what air he can, Marius hears his mom's voice. She tells him to close his eyes, to calm himself, to take back control, and think about what he needs to do. Follow the ceiling. Taking a last breath, Marius continues on, keeping the ceiling under his fingers. When he feels Rhea's connection checking on him, and he squeezes back once to say he's okay, though he feels very far from being okay.
Oh, gosh.
Terrified beyond all reason right now.
I feel very unokay about it.
Yeah.
Eventually, Marius comes out into a chamber with bright red light in the distance. He draws closer. Marius sees that it's a door, Guarding it is an enormous owl with 4 eyes, and its bottom half a tree trunk with great banyan roots where the legs should be. The owl introduces itself as Catabasis, one of many, each guarding the door to the underworld. It can't let Marius into hell because he doesn't belong there. Marius tries to bargain with Catabasis. He offers the raven skull necklace, but Catabasis says it is a love token linked to a mother's love, and its power is fading.
Oh!
Devastation! No! Oh. He then offers rosaries, mystic coins, and holy water, but they are also of no use. However, Catabasis accepts the golden eggshells. Catabasis will give Marius 20 minutes in hell before anyone will notice, but after 20 minutes, the door will close and Marius will be trapped in hell.
Oh.
Ah!
Marius sees nothing, hears nothing, and feels nothing. But then the unmistakable smell of home fills his nose. He's inside the family mausoleum, his mom's hell house, and gravity is all over the place. Up and down shift, and suddenly doors appear with plaques on them. One with a very ornately decorated, if on the nose, hourglass on it. Acutely aware that he doesn't have long, Marius begins to look for the piece of his mom's soul. The first door he goes through is marked Friends, and when he touches the mystic scales inside, he gets a flash of his mom and Madame Malette at 14, while the shadow of his mom in the hell house watches on, crying. Moving to the next door, marked Marius, he sees the same upset shadow of his mom while he holds his old baby blanket. Marius realizes these are flashes of his mom's regrets, and her biggest regret will be in the next room, and that is likely where her soul will be. Marius goes through the door marked Raymond, his father.
The shadow of his mom is standing in front of a broken window. As he looks around the room at the knickknacks, Marius hears his mom sobbing and sees her shadow looking at a picture from her wedding day. Shadow Kelly picks up the picture, screaming at it, accusing her husband of leaving them and causing so much pain before she throws it through the window. In the memory, Shadow Kelly looks terrified. Something has slithered through the broken window. Back in the room, Marius looks out at the hell house and sees the broken picture on the ground in actual hell. He needs it. Sure, that's the missing piece of his mom's soul. Carefully he climbs out and is able to snag it, but prowling hellhound demons spot him and give chase. The messed up gravity of the hell house and very, very liberal use of holy water from his many-pocketed coat help Marius to escape, with only 1 grain of sand to go in the hourglass. 20 minutes is not a long time to find a piece of your mum's soul.
No. Outside hell, the door closes and Catabasis is waiting for him. As Marius tries to stop shaking, Catabasis checks the picture and confirms it is the missing piece of Kelly's soul and transforms it into a perfect pomegranate. Catabasis instructs Marius to feed every last seed to Kelly once the demon has been exorcised. Also, because the payment of the golden eggshells exceeded the required payment for him to get into hell, Catabasis will send Marius home so he can skip the black water, tight spaces, and the bats. Thank goodness. Marius emerges from his favorite travel grave in his home cemetery.
Screams and cries are coming from the mausoleum, and Marius spots Rhea in the water as he runs to his mom. Madame Malette and Lena are holding possessed Kelly down. She's broken one wrist free from the bonds, and Madame Malette is having to siphon power from Lena to make possessed Kelly sleep again. With Marius's return, Madame Malette tells them the plan. She will exorcise the demon through Kelly's feet. Lena will feed Kelly the pomegranate seeds once Kelly is free. Marius will wait next to an incomplete salt circle, and Madame Malette will throw the demon. Marius will complete it, throw a glass vial demon bomb at the creature, then trap it in his monster book. It goes mostly to plan. The demon is bloody strong and refuses to be exorcised, but Madame Let is able to draw it out, literally like through her toes. It's really cool imagery.
Yeah.
The demon bomb explodes, but outside the salt circle, as the demon battered it away, which causes the salt circle surrounding it to be interrupted so it can escape.
Damn it.
Instead of biting at Marius, it starts to lick him, only to get a mouthful of holy oil. The demon runs out the mausoleum and toward Rhea, grabbing the mermaid as hostage. That seems like a very terrible plan on the demon's part.
Really, it was a bad idea. Rhea barbs the demon and screams for Marius to trap it as the creature snaps her barb. She's not concerned that the demon has her by the throat, and the trap may also draw her into the monster book. With promises he will find a way to get her out, Marius recites the spell. Grab the arm, grab the crook, stomp the ground until it's shook. Invisible line, invisible hook, get the monster inside this book. Once Marius feels the creature pulsating in the book, he closes the cover. There is absolute silence. Looking around, Marius sees Rhea holding onto the dock. They hug each other, so happy they're together and that the demon is trapped and Rhea is not trapped, and it is amazing. She is not a monster to be sucked into the monster book. Rhea's a hero.
She is a hero.
She is. She's the best.
Lena finds the friends together. She's very good at keeping secrets and won't tell anybody about the mermaid. Lena came out to fetch Marius because there is something inside he'll want to see. In the family mausoleum, Kelly is back. Soul and memories whole. Yay! She feels guilt and shame for leaving Marius in pursuit of his father and promises never to leave him again. She holds him so tight, Marius, it's sure she'll squeeze the life out of him. Her love recharging his raven necklace. Yay!
A few days later, Marius meets Lena in the French Quarter for beignets. They've quickly become good friends. Before Lena heads back home, she gives Marius a 2-foot-tall chocolate Easter bunny he requested, which was hard to come by, as in book timeline, it is not currently Easter. But today, as you will recall, it is day of recording, so we can get a giant 2-foot Easter bunny if we need one. Back at home, in his home cemetery, Marius is getting advanced swimming lessons from a professional, Rhea, while Kelly tends the graves. He and his mom are going to take a little time off from monster hunting, but he still needs to find someone to weigh his book with the possession demon, Evander, in it, no longer trusting greedy Papa Harold. After their lesson, Marius gives Rhea the chocolate oyster bunny, and he and Kelly watch in stunned admiration as Rhea eats it whole, wrapped in its painted foil. Delicious! As Marius goes to help his mom, the sounds of a familiar hum fill the bayou. Only a few can hear it, though. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, before we get into our discussion, I don't know if anyone noticed last week, in last week's episode, instead of a promo for another show, we had a promo from an author friend about a new book coming out. So let's do that again, shall we?
Yes.
I'm Kat Ellis, author of weird and creepy young adult books like Harrow Lake and Wicked Little Deeds, or Burden Falls as it's known in the US. My next YA horror, The Devouring Light, comes out right in time for Halloween. In it, rivals Hayden and Deacon and their bands are stranded in a deadly swamp on their way to a rock festival, and they think missing the gig is the worst thing that's going to happen to them this weekend. It's not. Marooned with a broken down bus and no way out of the swamp, they spot an old house where they can hole up until help comes. But the house has been waiting for them, and it knows help isn't coming. As secrets are revealed and bodies pile up, Hayden starts to lose her grip on reality. Can the house make good on its promise to make all her dreams come true? And can Hayden afford the deadly cost? I hope you'll add The Devouring Light to your Halloween reading list. is available to pre-order now, and you can request it on NetGalley.
Okay.
Wow. Where do we begin?
I don't even know. There were so many things I liked about this book. Kelly's creepy smile was probably one of my most favorite things.
I kept getting the movie smile.
Yeah.
Like that huge grin.
Yeah.
That's what kept going in my head.
Yeah. I also loved the Black-Eyed Children by the theater.
Yes.
I thought they were great.
Black-Eyed Children are creepy as.
Yes. And they actually, as well as Kelly's creepy smile, reminds me of the show From. Have you watched that?
No.
From is really, it's an amazing show, and there are these creatures that also have big creepy smiles like that, but you're like trapped in this small town, and there's these creatures that they look like actual humans, until they reveal that they are horrifying monsters, but they're all like in period clothes, and they all look like they're from the 1950s, and it's very, very creepy, and that's the vibe I got with the Black-Eyed Children at the theater. So
I'm looking at pictures.
Yeah, I love this show. The show is very, very good, but they have the same creepy smile, and so good. So good. I loved all of it. It was so creepy. So creepy.
I'm Googling. Oh, I don't have those ones. Typical. There's too many streaming options, if you ask me.
Yeah.
That's
I've got
annoying.
that one. Yeah.
Just have to. I just need to take a month off work.
Yeah, and just watch a million
free
things.
Trial all these streaming services
Yeah,
and
you
catch
really
up on
do.
everything.
You really, really do.
Yeah, but no, that's a spot on appearance for the creepy black eye creeps.
Yeah.
What were creeping?
Yes.
Yes. No, I agree with all of that. Loved it. Ghost Botherers.
Yeah, I knew that was
Badgers.
going to be. I knew that was going to be your favorite part. I knew it.
I
knew you were going to
one
love
of them
it.
for pure comedic value.
Yeah.
Love the fact that Lena is a witch, an actual witch. I want to meet some other witches.
Yeah.
Considering Marius says he's warned against them, and Mildred's all freaked out by them, so...
Yeah, but Mildred's just a dumb jerk.
Mildred is a dumb jerk. But
I think if we can just hop ahead really quickly, and I will just mention this and then we can go back to talking about other things. My surprise is that Mildred is still so horrible. Like at the end of book 1, she helps Marius, and now she's just back to being a jerk again. Stop it.
Yeah. No, I agree. They had a truce.
That was my surprise.
Understanding.
Yes. And now she's just a jerk. She's just a bully all over again. Like,
do you know what I think? I think that something needs to happen to Mildred. Something bad needs to happen to
agree.
Mildred.
Something bad needs to happen to Mildred.
Just in general, because it'll be fun. But also so that Marius saves her and she realises how absolutely kick-ass Marius is. She needs to be bullied in some way by some creature or monster or something. This could be where the witches come in.
Maybe.
If the witches are as bad as what, there could be a bad witch comes in and hexes Mildred or something, and Marius and Lena help to save her, and she realises, actually, I shouldn't be judging people by...
I honestly don't think it would help.
No. Something needs to happen to her so she reassesses her life choices, though. Something serious, and not just a mum telling her off, because obviously Madame Mallet is it's not working. Whatever she's doing is
No,
not
and
working.
I mean,
It's
she's
not
got
good.
several children, and she's also a teacher, and she's also, exercising feet demons. Like she got a lot going on right now.
She does, but she's not. It's not like she's an absent parent.
No, definitely
it's
not.
just Mildred is just a horrible
She's just
person and a terrible bully.
A little beast.
Yeah, so, and some people are like that, but she's young enough where something can turn that around. And that needs to happen. So I'm kind of actually glad that Mildred wasn't in that much in this book.
Yeah.
Because
I just
I found
don't
her
like
so
her.
vexing in the first one.
Yeah.
I hate bullies. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed meeting Barbie for those few pages. Just the absolute contrast of Barbie and Rex, but then how competitive the Crossroad demon business is. That threatening Rex, when Mama Ruth threatens Rex from, you're barred from this establishment, makes him squeal like a little piggy.
Yeah, you're banned. And I'm going to invite Barbie back. Like, how many people are selling their souls at Mama Ruth's?
Must be a lot of business there.
That's a lot.
Must be a lot of business.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found it interesting that we went to Texas so much.
Yeah.
And I think, well, where can we go next in the South?
I know. Where else in the South has really great monsters?
Florida.
Florida also would be good, but yeesh. That's not what I was hinting at. I was thinking Arkansas,
Oklahoma.
perhaps.
Oh yeah.
Oklahoma, also good. Mississippi, I'm sure there's some good. Missouri, there's lots of good monsters down here.
But none of them have the Fook monster.
Right. And, and I just think that Marius needs to come here. And then I will invite M.R. Fournet, and I will show her around. And we will go ghost badgering. Because we can't go ghost bothering if you're not here.
I was going to say, I already called one person out I know about from saying that they were ghost bothering. I was like, excuse me, ghost bothering TM, it is already taken.
Yeah.
You need to pay me the rights to use ghost bothering.
Yes, definitely. Something else that I really loved was finding out what powers the Raven Skull necklace, especially when it's not working and you find out, well, it's your mother's love that powers that, and it's losing its power. That was intense. Like, yeah, well, your mother doesn't love you as much anymore, is what, of course, you're going to think. But no, she's just being overtaken by a demon, and the demon doesn't really care for you that much. And, she's losing her soul, and she's going to dissolve into nothingness and be surrounded by wraiths, and she's just nothing. She's just a wisp of a human now. But just thinking, oh, it's powered by my mother's love, and it's losing its power. So that's harsh, but so good.
Oh, completely. We got the return of Kelly's voice this as well.
Yes.
When he was in those underwater scenes and the going through the cavern and the bending and the small spit. No, I'm not claustrophobic, but I did not like that.
Yeah.
We got the return of Kelly's voice. So, the question still stands. Is Kelly's voice really Kelly? Or is it Marius projecting his mum's voice? Or option 3, technically it's Kelly's voice, but it's the piece of her soul that hasn't been put back into the body yet.
I think it's all in his head. I really do. I don't think he's actually hearing any part of his mother. I think it's in his head.
But it's just as his mother, as the voice of reason,
the
person he trusts the most.
Yeah.
I'm a little sad that Rhea and Lena didn't hang out together.
Well, there's perhaps still time.
Yeah.
This book did wrap up really nicely, though. So if, I'm not sure if it's a duology or if it's going to be an ongoing thing, but this one does wrap up nicely. Though there is that humming at the end, which just cracks the door open just a little bit. But I would be content if this was the end. I think this would be a really nice wrap.
Yes, it is. It is nice and neat.
Yeah.
However, saying that, I'm not sure if we know everything yet because Raymond.
I think that Raymond's just a deadbeat, and we shouldn't waste our time on him.
So that is a possibility, that he just abandoned his family.
That's what I'm hoping for.
That is the potential.
Yeah.
But what gets me is the way that Barbie reneged on the deal and still took Kelly's soul. She said that Raymond couldn't be found in the first book. So that still leaves a question mark for me. So is it that Barbie didn't bother trying to find him, she just wanted Kelly's soul, and a monster hunter's soul is a bit of a coup for a Crossroads demon to get?
Doesn't that seem like something a Crossroads demon would do? We've watched enough Supernatural to know that you can't trust them.
Well, yes, but at the same time, it's bad for business.
I don't know. I just want him to be a deadbeat.
If you're known as a Crossroads demon that reneges on the deals, you're eventually going to lose the deals.
Yeah.
People aren't going to go to you.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting that we had Raymond, we've had him leaving, and it could just be that he is a deadbeat, and that could be the answer, but then it's still, he couldn't be found.
Maybe he's dead.
It's a tidbit. It could be, but then you would think Barbie would say he's dead. You can't find.
Yeah, but then you lose all your hand. You don't have any hand. You don't have the upper hand. You don't have any hand. If you well he's dead. Like, if you continue to string people along, maybe you'll still get something from them.
Well, she's still going to get Kelly's soul regardless. Because the deal is, I will do X if you give me Y.
Yeah.
Y is the soul, X is answering a question. She answered the question, he's dead. She never answered the question. She said, he can't be found. So even if she said, he's dead, his body is here, he's dead, his soul is wherever, that's still technically finding him. So, I don't know, it still feels like there's a little bit of a question, and there's a question mark from me, but however, at the same time, if the story was to end there, that would be okay. I want more, though. I also want to know, I don't know, there's also the fact that the demon is still in the book and hasn't been, whatever happens when you go to the mystic scales. So could the humming have been coming from the book and the demon is just biding its time to escape?
I don't know. I was kind of thinking that, in that rush to eat all those pomegranate seeds, it's entirely possible that we missed one.
It is possible, but I've got a feeling Madame Millette would not let that happen.
Yeah, you're probably right. But there's just so many little things that it could be. And, I don't know, who is humming? Is it Papa Harold? Has he shown up and he's starting to hum and now we have to fight him in a potential book 3? There's lots of...
Is it Rex or Barbie watching on?
Maybe. We don't know. And we have clearly proven that we are not good at guessing what happens in the next book.
We were okay, all right? Let's give us some credit.
Yeah. We got some things right.
We need to give ourselves a small amount of credit for guessing that right.
Can I tell you my absolute favorite part of this book? I really enjoyed the time in hell, which, of course I did, but it was so well written. Going into that hell house and the rooms are getting bigger and smaller and gravity doesn't work and he's just tumbling all around. That's terrifying. And also, hey, you're in hell. And also you have to go into these rooms and see your mother suffering horribly.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
It was a very good image of hell.
So good. I'm glad that it didn't take him too long to get back out.
It's both a blessing and a curse that you only get given 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Going a little bit back to the surprise as well. The Oyster Bunny, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And it turned out that they just gave her a chocolate bunny. I'm a little disappointed that they gave her a chocolate bunny in the end. When it feels like I've been set up that Lena can make these wonderful hybrid creatures. And she does, when she makes the dog bunny thing.
Yeah.
And she doesn't make an actual oyster bunny.
That is a missed opportunity.
I mean, I understand, Rhea will probably eat it regardless.
Right.
But that's not the point.
Maybe, I mean, when Lena makes the creature and sends it off on its way, she's like, okay, go and live your life. Maybe she doesn't want to make something to be eaten. Maybe that seems like an evil thing for a witch to do, and she doesn't want to be evil. And yet she does tell it, go and live your life, and when you get tired, you can just poof away if you want to. Like, I'm giving you this choice. Maybe she doesn't think it will have a choice but to be eaten by a mermaid.
But Rhea doesn't have to. If you tell her not to eat it, and that, I've brought you one to see, but we're going to let it go free. Unless it jumps in the water or jumps into a huge mouth, it's not going to happen. And I don't know, I'm surprised that you've demonstrated this cool magic to me, and I don't get a weird ass actual oyster bunny.
Yeah, but
I wanted the weird.
But a chocolate Easter bunny is so much more delicious.
I mean, okay, fine, but I want an actual oyster bunny.
I know.
2 foot bits of chocolate, fine. Okay, granted, yum. But I want an actual oyster bunny.
Yeah.
And Creature, can we talk about Creature for a moment?
Yes, we
How
need
much
to.
did she just get out of her 1966 Ford Thunderbird convertible straight from the Supernatural TV show?
Yeah. Yep. That is definitely an image that was in my head. A lot of supernatural vibes in this book, but Creature definitely was one of them. Creature she's good. I like her.
She used to hang with Mama and Papa Winchester.
Yes. Yeah, she did. I'm sure she did.
She dated Bobby once.
That is exactly what I was about to say. She dated Bobby. Didn't work out.
They had a wild time in Oklahoma back in the 70s. Let's never mention again.
Yeah. That's so funny. I was gonna say the same thing. Oh, Bobby.
You idiots.
That was a remarkable impersonation that you just did.
It really wasn't. I can do better. I just can't be bothered right now. I'm very tight. Anyways.
Do you think there's going to be a book?
So much of it. I don't know.
Do you think there's going to be a book 3? And if there was a book 3, do we need to go ahead and put down some bets that we will be
we're going to be wrong
about?
Wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. If I hope there is a book 3, and if there is a book 3, I'm just going to say I want witches.
Okay.
I want to go to another southern state, even if it's just one visit.
Mm-hmm.
And I want Mildred to be the focal point of an attack.
Okay. I like all of those things.
And for bonus points, find out if Raymond actually did abandon his family or something else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to happen too. I want him to just be a deadbeat. I know it doesn't add to the storyline really, but I just want him to be a deadbeat.
It doesn't detract from the storyline, because it just shows that Kelly was so desperate to find out what the heck's happened to Raymond that she's willing to sell her soul to find it. It actually probably makes it worse that he is just a deadbeat.
He's just a deadbeat.
That
Nothing
she sold her soul and abandoned Marius for nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. That seems like a very harsh punishment for a middle grade book, but that is what I want to happen.
Unfortunately, it is also life. Didn't he get his money pocketed coat from his dad, though?
Yeah, I think so.
So maybe it's not Raymond we'll find out about. Maybe it's somebody from Raymond's family.
Maybe.
So Raymond could be an abandoned a family.
Could just be a deadbeat, but we
arsehole.
meet a really cool grandpa or something.
Yeah. Or we meet Uncle Bobby, who did Creature back in the 70s.
Yes. Also, I would be okay with that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's great. Okay, shall we move on to favorite final thought quote?
Yes.
What you got?
Well, I mean, we could plagiarise again if we were so desired.
True.
This entire book was just fantastic. 5 out of 5
really
stars. We'll
Yes.
read again.
Yes.
God. Yeah, so, like, badger ghosts? You run around bothering them? Yes, I do. I'm sorry.
Claire, we need a quote from the book, please.
Do you want my ghost hunting kit's right here?
Yeah. Book quotes, though, Claire. Book
Sorry.
quotes.
Perhaps you should close that big mouth of yours. It attracts all manners of things.
Oh, harsh.
If he played his cards right and didn't get eaten, he would look back on this era as deeply educational. And again, I feel like that is just life.
Yes.
Okay, I could give you about 1,000 more, but I'm going to stop there.
Okay.
I best stop there.
Okay. I didn't like that. Everyone staring at me made me feel weird. I can't find the right word for it. Like, angry, but vibrating. Ugh, I know those feels, Lena. I know those feels. Let's see, what else do I like? There's no better friend in the world than one with a library, which is 100% obvious. That's how you know a best friend, he thought. It's never, what do you have to do? It's always, what do we have to do? I thought that was very nice. And then finally, my last favorite one is, so, are you prepared to go to hell? Yes! Amazing. Okay. Now it's time. It's fine.
Pew pew is so daunting, isn't it? Pew, pew,
It is. Pew pewing. Pew pewing. Yay. Oh, Claire, there was an extra pew pew that time.
It was delightful. It made it a
Yes.
bit more harmonious.
Yes, extra pew pews, because this time for Would You Rather, we are joined by author M.R. Fournet, and we're so excited that you're here. Yay!
Thank you guys for having me. I'm so happy.
Oh, we're so happy that you're here to talk about demons. It's amazing.
And ghosts. We need to
Ghosts.
talk about ghosts.
And mermaids.
And
Ghosts and
hags.
monsters.
And hell.
Oh,
actual
boo-hags
hell.
and
Actual
rugaroos. Yes.
hell. Not just some simile of hell.
No. Actual hell.
Actual hell, yep.
It's amazing.
I went there in a middle grade book.
But it was so well done. That was my favorite part. Was the
You
Hell
like
House.
Hell best? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
It was so good. It was so good. It was so good. But we talked about that already in the episode. So you'll have to double back and listen to the whole thing to hear how much we love hell. You know what? It's just
Who would have thought?
I'm reassessing my life choices right now. We
I'm not.
love hell.
I'm not. It's
We
fine.
love hell.
Yep.
Maybe we just need to work out how we're going to say that properly.
No.
Okay.
I'm here for it. Just be honest.
Like, nah, we got it right the first time.
It's fine.
So all the best music and the chocolate goes to hell, so whatever.
That's true.
Right?
Accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what's
Talking
our...
about hell,
Yeah,
would
let's
you
talk-
rather sneeze up bugs or cough up a frog? Damn, that was a bad segue.
That was
but
a horrible segue.
Speaking of horrible experiences, would you rather?
Oh, that was
Horrible
better.
That
was
it's
better.
horrible experiences, horrible segues.
Yes.
But we asked on social media, would you rather sneeze up bugs or cough up a frog? And everybody wants to cough up frogs with 57% on Facebook and 75% on Instagram. We do have some comments which will help inform our answers. Yeah. So shall we cover those quickly, Amanda?
Yes, we should just share all of our comments real quick.
So Katrina on Facebook said, I think this is the worst Would You Rather yet. Thanks, Katrina. There's no way I could pick sneezing bugs. I have a phobia of bugs, especially if I'm getting into my ears or nose, so that sounds traumatising. I will have to cough up a frog, but I want it to be noted that I'm picking this under duress. Noted. We have noted.
Coral on Facebook says, the feeling of sneezing is weird to begin with. I can't imagine having bugs come out at the same time, so I have to go with frog.
Super Fanny Annie on Facebook said, spring allergies have got me bad. I sound like I need to cough up a frog.
Candace on Facebook said, I would rather the frog, just because bugs is plural and frog is not.
Yeah.
Okay, there with the words. Brie Tart on Instagram said, frogs are bigger and slimy than anything I've ever coughed up. I've sneezed up rice. There's a story there. Bugs can be rice-sized. I'll take that.
Mystery Reader 69 on Instagram says, frogs, no bugs.
And lastly, Headzilla on Instagram said, cough up a frog, definitely. Bugs are gross and minging and stuff, whereas frogs may be a bit on the slimy side of things, but are cool and awesome and stuff. I mean, which would you rather baby your child? Bugs would crawl over them and carry them off to their big lair. Frogs would protect them from the fae and teach them magic, because all frogs are wizards, even though they don't have beards. It's the one species that can get away with being a wizard and not having a beard. That's a little fun frog fact for you. So yeah, frog me, baby. Frog me real good.
No.
That is an in-depth answer. Wow.
Yeah.
I think they wrote an entire, like, at least a short story just in that answer.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, look, I don't know what's wrong with everybody on social media, but I'm sneezing up bugs. I'm not going to cough up a frog. No, sneezing up bugs.
Fair. I have extremely violent sneezes. Like, I could shatter glass sneeze. So I think if I was going to sneeze up bugs, it would literally just be one huge tornado of bugs. Some kind
like of swarm.
It would be a biblical swarm of
like
bugs.
A plague of locusts. A
plague of bugs would come out of my nostrils in one whoosh.
Yeah.
And then there would be one last one that comes out and follows its friends.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that, get it all over and done with in one big sneeze.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, I think when I read it, I was like, my first inclination was sneeze up bugs, because I'm like, well, they're smaller. But then thinking about it, I'm like, but I would be the whole time going, oh no, one is still stuck in there. It's like, oh wait, is there one in the back of I would like come up with all these, every little tickle, be like, oh, is that a fly that didn't get all the way out? With the frog, it's like, it's one and done. So I feel like I would have I would sleep better later, not worry about every little tiny tickle in the back of my nose being another fly that just didn't come out.
But what was if you still got a tummy full of tadpoles?
No.
That is also true.
Ew,
I guess if I was guaranteed it was just one frog, then I would pick a frog.
Are there ever any guarantees when you're coughing up frogs, though?
I think that there's no guarantees in general in this entire situation.
Yeah. Tough life choices.
Yeah.
It's a horrible
tough
question.
Imaginary choices.
I was just going to say, you cough up this frog and all of a sudden it's going, right, side quest now. And you're like, oh, okay, it's a wizard frog.
Well, then I definitely want to cough up a frog because I want to go on a side quest.
That would be amazing. But unfortunately, our frog friend is immediately eaten by a mermaid, so...
That is true. He is immediately eaten by a mermaid.
After it's eaten the biblical swarm of bugs that I've sneezed up, it has a snack. And then it becomes a snack.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And Rhea enjoys all of it. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, my kid just did the Lion King play, and so now I'm like Circle of Life, like, because I just got done singing all the time. Yeah.
Mermaid.
Okay. Next question. We don't have any listener comments for this one. This one's just us. Would you rather hear Papa Harold hum his demon song, Yes, Immediately, Please, or Papa Renard's notorious Griffin Howl door chime? And I just can't even think
I will caveat this question. I put this in there because I know how much Amanda hates door chimes.
I hate every
and
kind
I wanted
of
to try and make her vomit.
Ugh.
She's always trying to make me vomit, so now it's tables have turned and I'm trying to make her vomit.
Ugh. Hate him, chills, hate him. I'm humming the demon song. Yeah, I don't know how everybody else answer it.
I'm gonna say demon song. Demon song, definitely, because in my head I know what Papa Bernard's Griffin door chime sounds like. Yeah, even though it's creepy, I'd much rather the demon song.
You've got to do the demon song because you can lay down a nice beat, put a nice track to it, get a on Spotify or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, is it time for me to try to sing that part? I can try.
Oh, are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? Yes, I think that you should.
I can try. I haven't tried, I don't know if I've ever out loud done it, but I have my book here. Hold on.
I do it in my head, and it's very good, so I can't wait. I can't wait to hear what it actually is from the actual real author.
All right. Well, keep in mind, I'm a terrible singer, really terrible singer. So I will do my best I can do. I kind of took it off of. Did you guys ever watch The Haunting of Bly Manor?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that weird little tune that they sing that was kind of inspired by that.
Okay.
So here, I'll try it. Okay.
Yep, completely and thoroughly creeped out. That was perfection. Yes.
Yeah. I both love and hate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, love it.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah, so good. Oh, and then it happened at the end too, and you're like, oh crap!
Where did it come from?
It was wrapped up nicely in a little bubble. Nope. Humming.
Nope.
No,
humming at the very end.
Was it from Kelly? Was it from somebody watching on? Was it from just the bayou being all creepy? Questions.
Can't wait.
So many questions
to
that I
find
can't
out.
answer.
Yeah. Nope. Don't do it. Don't do it right now, especially because we're playing Would You Rather. We have to get into that later.
Yes.
Which you still probably won't be able to tell us anything, but then we can yell at you properly about that.
Okay. Works for me.
Yeah, okay.
Come on to the podcast. It's a good time. We will shout at you.
We will shout at you. But it's done with love.
It's love shouting. I understand. Admiration yelling. It works for me.
Yeah. It's a thing. Just go with it.
Next question. Would you rather bother the ghosts at the Capitolo or the old coffee pot or in the Grey Cemetery?
I think I will do either that's not the old coffee pot, because the ghosts in the old coffee pot are real jerks. So I think I would much rather hang out with the ghosts in the Greystone Cemetery.
That's probably the safest answer. Although isn't Napoleon, is that the other one? So we can just torture him a little bit.
That's another, I think it would be fun. I do like how the idea of his ghost being there because the death mask is there and that he's so annoying. I think, okay, if we're talking a short-term visit, the ghost in the Cabildo would be fun. But I think after a while listening to Napoleon drone on and on about how, he should have won this and that battle would be really annoying, and I'd much rather just go hang out with Hugo and the ghosts in the cemetery. So if it's a short-term visit, Cabildo. Long-term visit, Greystone Cemetery.
I wouldn't want to bother the Greystone Cemetery ghosts though, because I think they're nice. They don't need to be bothered unless I'm going for a nice visit and it is a visit, not a bothering. Then I'll go to Greystone. As a Brit, I would very happily go to Napoleon and be like, you lost the war, you loser, which I think would be hilarious and probably rattle them up. But actually, as a ghost botherer, and the person I do go on ghost hunts, and me and my friends do call themselves the ghost botherers. I would go to the old coffee pot and investigate that properly.
I could see that. I guess when I think of ghost bothering, I think more of a visit.
I've got my ghost kit
actually
ready.
bothering.
I've got my kit AMF, I've got my digi-recorder, I've got everything I need. I'll
Oh,
go ghost bothering.
you got the full regalia. All right.
I've got ghost bothering stuff. I do it. So I'll go ghost bother the old coffee pot, but I'll probably bother Napoleon the most just by saying I'm British and you lost the war. Ha, sucks to be you. And then I'll just go and see Hugo at the cemetery and go, "Hi Hugo, I bought you an apple. It's wax. It's made
It's
of
a
I got you a
toy.
wax
It's a
apple
toy.
just for you.
Yeah. It's so cute that they like to play with fake food. Yeah, I'm gonna hang out in Greystone Cemetery. I think something about the old coffee pot ghosts being a dentist and a patient, but the patient's also like into it. No.
Yeah, that's a real dentist too. That was a real story. Like it is thought that his ghost. Well, I mean, the old coffee pot's not there anymore. It's now something else. But that is a actual story of an actual dentist who haunted that area. So that's all true. Well, as true as anything is in Louisiana.
Right. What have you just said? Nothing is true there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. You're crawling in a small tunnel to hell.
Stop you right there. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Because one, I'm not claustrophobic, but that scene freaked me the hell out. And I had to go to sleep after this. And then, two, I'm physically not made for small tunnels. No. Length or girth, width, whatever measurement, I am not fit for small tunnels. So I'm stopping you right there. Not happening.
You have to choose. That's the rules of Would You Rather. You have to choose. So, are you going head first or feet first?
Feet first.
Or I guess option C, she's not going at all.
No, there is no option C. Option C is not allowed in Would You Rather. Even though you are the Lord and Master of your own universe, which we often say, and that allows you to choose weird random things that aren't included, not this time, Claire.
I feel like the creepy thing that's in the walls that I don't like. I don't like things in the walls, and I feel like I'm the creepy thing in the walls in that scene, and it creeps me out.
So you shouldn't be afraid of them anymore.
Wind chimes.
Ugh.
I've got some wind chimes literally over there, Amanda. I will get them out.
Please, if you ever loved me, don't do it.
Don't force my hand.
Okay, I won't. You don't have to choose.
To be fair, I don't like wind chimes either. That makes you feel any better.
It does.
Well, I used to design them. I'm an artist. So I used to work in designing metalwork stuff, and I had to design wind chimes, and it produced in me a hefty hatred for wind chimes in general. So I'm there with you. I
love you even more now, if that's possible. Oh, wind chimes, hate them. I don't really care if I'm going to go head first or feet first. I mean, I guess I would probably want to go feet first, because what if like the hole suddenly gets really big and you just topple out? You know, if you topple out and you shatter your ankles, or you topple out and break your neck.
But if you're going head first, then your arms are going to be in front of you, because that's how you're going to have to hold yourself.
Yeah, but that's not what we said. We said head first. So apparently you're doing this.
I'm not a worm.
Oh, you're a worm.
We're even worse. My physique even worse is widened by putting my arms down my side. You've added inches on that I don't need.
Oh.
So then you want to do arms first, but then it's like, what if you get stuck like this?
That would not be good.
But you could get stuck like that anyway. Feet first.
True.
I think I should go head first. I'm going head first, especially if it's hands actually, and not you're just not just worming your way in.
You'd have your booty, if you were doing your feet, would be like all over the place. And you'd be. My knees are rubbish as well, and
it's
I'd
a
have
nice
to,
dance
hold
move.
myself out. I can't even lie on my stomach in bed. I can't do this. Like, my knees will not accommodate this. I have arthritis in my knees. They will not allow me to do this.
And you can't lie on your back either, because your bosoms will suffocate you.
I suffocate because of bosoms.
I do
I'm
too.
screwed. Thank you.
I don't.
I do.
Look
I
at
can't
this.
lie on my stomach.
Look at
my
this.
lower back will die
Nope. I
because
got
of my
nothing.
bosom.
I'm going to have to do this sideways. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to have to go on my side, specifically
you're
my
acting
left
it out.
side.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to go head first because then I feel like I can use my hands at least
Uh-huh.
to haul because
Yeah.
my arms are stronger than my legs. And then when I come to the outside and I get to a haul, then I guess I'm just going to go neck first and break my neck and die.
None of these are good answers.
No, you know, I guess it depends on where gravity is at that point in the cave. If I'm like headed down, then I'm gonna want to go feet first, because then like she was saying, like, you know, once you get there and you land, you got your feet.
Yeah.
But if we're kind of going even, I want to be head first so that I can like drag myself. Because if you're going slightly downward, then gravity is helping you and you don't need your hands. I'm saying this actually from experience. I did go spelunking through a cave shortly before I wrote this scene. So from experience, that is what I experienced. So there were parts where we went down and it's just a bunch of rocks and craziness that you had to traverse, and it's running water the whole time. And feet first, that's the way to go. But if you're having to do anything this way, you want to be head first so that you can use your hands to pull yourself along.
I'm just going to pull the Descent card. I've seen that movie. It taught me life lessons. I'm not going in no cave.
It's still one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
Oh, 100%.
I like caves. I feel like I'm safe in a cave.
Not in this type of cave, yes.
Not in the cave to
Not
hell.
a small tunnel. There's a difference. A cave has space. A small tunnel does not
have space.
Yeah, that is true. And you know, the one I went into was actually in Belize, and it's where one of the places the Mayans used to sacrifice people. And we got to see like 1,000-year-old sacrifice skeletons that had been calcified and stuff. So there, of course, the guides are like, if you get stuck, the Mayan ghosts will come and help you, and that kind of thing, which made it so much better.
That's amazing.
That is so cool.
Nice.
So yeah, I took a lot of that and put it into that whole scene, the whole cave scene in this book.
It's very good. Ooh, I love it.
Do Mayan ghosts make it more or less creepy?
I guess it depends on if you're scared of ghosts. Because there was a point where they were like, okay, now you have to free climb up this boulder. And, you know, there's no rope or anything. Like, free climb up this boulder and then kind of scoot onto this ledge where all the bones and the death is. And I'm looking going, I don't even know how to free climb up anything. What are you talking about? And they're like, well, your choices are you do this, or you stay here in the water in the dark alone and wait for us to come back and get you later. And you're alone in the dark with the Mayan ghosts. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to free climb up this boulder.
I don't know, that sounds quite attractive to me.
Yeah.
Just lying there in the water.
Yeah.
Oh God, imagine the nap would be amazing.
You do have little fish like chewing on your legs the whole time you're in the water too, which I actually found kind of nice, but I'm a weirdo.
They're friends. Fish are friends.
Yeah, they're just nibbling at you, you know, the whole time.
I'm bigger than them. I can swat them away. You know, I'm not going to be there that long. Oh, it sounds really nice. But I can imagine you free climbing and all of a sudden, like, a ghost just touched my butt, and it's not. It's just giving you a bit of a push.
It's just helping you along. Like, we don't want you to stay here any longer than you want to stay here. We're just
get out.
We're just getting you to that next section.
Yeah.
You're ruining our peace and quiet. Get out.
Oh my God, tourists. Exit through the gift shop.
Yeah. Not another American. All right, get out.
Wish we still did sacrifices. Jeez.
Yeah.
The Mayan ghosts have got progressive. They're no longer sacrificing.
It's very thoughtful of them.
Anywho.
Okay. What's our last would you rather question?
Would you rather be in a room that constantly gets bigger and smaller, or a room where gravity doesn't work?
Oh, everything about that Hell House was so cool.
Bigger and
I'm going gravity because I've always wanted to go to space, And I feel like it would be kind of like going to space, be kind of like you get to float around and, you have to watch out for occasionally if the gravity goes away, smacking on the ground. But I don't know. I feel like it would be more fun than the bigger and smaller parts.
I'm going to go with Gravity, but purely because I really the Jamiroquai music video.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I can't remember the song; it's going to beat my head. But yeah, the Jamiroquai music video. It's integral to my childhood, young adulthood. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll go for that.
See, I just think Nightmare on Elm Street. I think of Freddy and all of Freddy's movies where there's inevitably the room has flipped upside down and then, blood is pouring from the ceiling or the bed depending on which way the room is going. Yeah. So that's what I think of. But you know what? I like those movies, so that's what I'm going to pick too.
Are you having the blood as well?
Sure, yeah.
Sure, why not?
I'm fine with that. I'm fine. Yeah.
Coming as no surprise, Amanda. Yeah. Additional blood. I'm still surprised that you're not going to go investigate the dentist because, your predilection for teeth.
I know. I do have that weird thing with teeth, but I don't know. Does he actually have teeth? Are there teeth on display? That would change the answer. But we're in a coffee shop, so they probably don't have that weird tooth cup that we all saw on social media the other day.
That would just add to the reason why I'm going to go and bother those ghosts. They've got coffee.
Yeah, I think that location is now it's now like a pizza place or something.
Oh my God, it gets better.
It's something very generic now because it used to be like a really great breakfast joint that was there for like over 100 years, and then Gordon Ramsay did one of his kitchen, whatever kitchen emergency, blah blah blah, and they were on a show, and he found like a mouse in their toaster, and then they shut down after Gordon Ramsay shut down the whole coffee pot. And now it's a pizza joint. Hopefully a haunted pizza joint. I hope it's still haunted.
Hopefully. And hopefully there's not any mice in any toasters there.
Hopefully not, yeah.
There we go. Gordon Ramsay's 24 hours to hell and back. After 125 years it was there.
Oh, did you just look it up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, now, they had the best biscuits. I don't care if there was a mouse in the toaster. They had the best biscuits and the best grits I'd ever had in my life.
I used to go to a Chinese takeaway that was an F rating on the food hygiene standards. Bloody good noodles.
Life is risk.
Yeah.
Those biscuits were to die for.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Gordon Ramsay's standards are just too high.
Who does it? Dead rodents, it's just a little extra protein in your toast.
Right.
Did it kill anybody?
Seasoning.
No. And if they did, they could just
died.
hold the place.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he just overreacts.
Okay, Would You Rather was amazing.
Yes.
And
100%.
Now it's time for If You Liked This, Try This. What are you going to suggest?
The recommendation comes from Matthew because he adores these books so much. So I asked him and he said, will you please recommend this one? And it's Rules for Vampires by Alex Fawkes. Very tenuous links. Same person read both books in the same week, haven't they? There are highs and lows to being a vampire. On one claw, you get cool powers like beastly strength and hypnotism and the ability to grim walk. On the other claw, however, vampires are bound by vampiric laws, rules to protect the balance between the worlds of living and the undead. And unfortunately, 11-year-old Leo has just forgotten rule number 1. The rules for vampires don't tell you what you do when you make a ghostly enemy or accidentally restart an ancient war. But Leo and her very unusual family are more than up to the job. So I'm guessing there's some hashtag tenuous links in there about, families having powers and, certain particular rules between different supernatural realms.
Yeah.
The living, the undead.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So, yeah.
Mine I found on a list of middle grade horror books, and this was the very first one, and I feel like it's probably more appropriate for book 1, but you know what? still going to suggest it. It's called The Necromancer's Apprentice by Beverly Toomey. Georgie would do anything to help his father even learn the dying art of necromancy. 12-year-old Georgie works hard to care for his grieving father while keeping his nosy younger cousin out of trouble. But when his father begins to decline even further, Georgie decides to bring back the one person who could do it all, his deceased mother. The local necromancer is an awkward and solitary man with an ancient black cat and a literal skeleton in his closet. With a few words, he can cause a dead sparrow to fly, stop an animated skeleton in its place, and even speak to the dead themselves. Georgie is quickly swept away in a world of skeletal horrors, abandoned graves, and wizard duels where woodland creatures arm themselves against the undead. But can he convince the necromancer to resurrect his mother in time?
Oh, we've already done Necromancy Month as well.
I know. This was a really good fit for last month, or for the last.
We'll
book,
have to do a one of like bringing people back from the dead, and like, oh look, Necromancy Month.
Yeah, Resurrection Month.
A resurrection.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
Do we have a new indie spotlight?
Yes, we do. This one is not a middle grade book. This is not a book for children. It's by R.F. Kuang. So it's definitely not for children. Definitely 100% not for children. But it's called Catabasis. And it comes out in August, so it needed to be done. 2 graduate students must set aside their rivalry and journey to hell to save their professor's soul, perhaps at the cost of their own. Alice Law has only ever had one goal: to become one of the brightest minds in the field of magic. She has sacrificed everything to make that a reality: her pride, her health, her love life, and most definitely her sanity. All to work with Professor Jacob Grimes at Cambridge, the greatest magician in the world. That is, until he dies in a magical accident that could possibly be her fault. Grimes is now in hell, and she's going in after him. Because his recommendation could hold her very future in his now incorporeal hands, and even death is not going to stop the pursuit of her dreams, nor will the fact that her rival, Peter Murdoch, has come to the same conclusion. I mean, going to hell for reasons.
That's not even a tenuous link.
That's a link. That's just a straight up link.
Straight on the nose, hitting you on the noggin.
Yep.
Link.
Yep. Okay. So that's it for this episode of Fictional Hangover. Make sure you go and check out our bonus episode that goes along with this one, our interview with author M.R. Fournet. It is amazing. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire.
Join us next time as we discuss Heartless, Parasol Protectorate Book the 4th by Gail Carriger. Look out for our Would You Rather polls and monthly challenges on social media. Don't forget about our book club on Discord. Be sure to visit our shop on Redbubble at fictionalhangover.redbubble.com for all your favorite Fictional Hangover-themed merchandise, and become a patron of ours on Patreon at patreon.com/fictionalhangover. Until next time, remember, the only cure for a fictional hangover is another book.
You can find us at fictionalhangover.com and follow us on all social media at Fictional Hangover. If you like this episode, check out our others and be sure to rate, review and subscribe so you don't miss out. Thanks for listening.